Hello, welcome to
Hello.
Friends International Guildford. Hi, Jasmine.
Hi, Phil. How are you?
Yeah, all good. Thank you. All good. Ready for another Let's Talk About evening. This evening is going to be about the new year and what a new year it's been already. Feel free to say hello, leave your comments in the conversation, whichever platform you're on, and let us know if you've made any resolutions for this year or are you just taking 2021 as it comes. We're going to be talking about our plans and hopes a little bit, but we've also got three guests with us, and we'll introduce them in a moment. But it'd be interesting to just talk a little bit before we introduce those guests. Let's talk about our plans for 2021 and hopes, and we'll kind of come back to ourselves after we've interviewed everyone else in a moment. But what hopes do you have for 2021, Jasmine?
I think one of the biggest things is just continuing to learn how to rest well in the middle of when you're working from home, because it's hard. You don't have as much of a break in your schedule. So I'm learning how to rest well, learning how to build a schedule for myself. So continuing to pursue that. Can't plan too far ahead at this point.
It's very true. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And what about you, Phil?
Yeah, pretty similar. Trying to take things as they come. We've got a couple of things that we're hoping lockdown hasn't impacted too much. So personally, we're waiting for some building work on our house, which was meant we were hoping to be done in 2020, but that hasn't happened. So we're hoping for that. But also with Friends International, we've got a couple of courses that we're doing. So we've got a Philip project, we've got life leadership. And I'm actually weirdly grateful for things like Zoom to allow us to do that. But it's a little bit more intense just because it's on the screen the whole time. So I'm hoping they'll continue to run, hoping that we get students on them. But aside from that, we're kind of seeing what 2021 brings, really. So shall we bring in our first guest to talk about his hopes and plans? And I'm going to let you introduce him. There we go. I'm going to disappear. Over to you, Jasmine.
All right. Well, hello, Joe. How are you doing?
Hey, Jasmine. Yeah, really good to be with you. Good, thanks. You?
Good. Yeah. And for those who may not know, Joe is a team member here. He's the one posting on social media. If you see, or if you're connected to our Facebook and Instagram, which I would assume you're in some way connected because you're watching this live stream now. But Joe, what hopes and plans do you have for 2021?
Great question. Myself and my wife are hopefully moving house. That's going to be a big one for us this year. I actually only moved to Guildford last March. I had relocated from Essex, where I'd originally been for a bit. So that's going to be hopefully a big one for us, a house move. Also, kind of little things. We're thinking about kind of getting into more exercise. I think that's been everybody's kind of resolution. It's always one of the three, isn't it? Eat well, sleep well. I think it was Phil who said earlier, get some rest. But that's desperately going to be one of those two that we do. I think as well, something that I've just been really trying to do is read more, even if it's just good quality articles. And that's getting away from just scrolling through certain social media platforms, but actually really investing some time into some good apps, some particular books, but also some podcasts as well. There's so much out there. There really is. So yeah, spending some time on that really as well.
That's awesome. Those sound like great goals and plans for the year. Has anything changed with the new lockdown for you?
We have made it our mission to do, if not a morning walk, a lunchtime walk. Particularly obviously as the nights are colder, darker, a lot quicker. It's difficult to get out in the evening. So we've found particularly morning walks are good. They get you ready for the day. They start you off quick. It gets you out of bed earlier as well. And I'm also just holding, but really trying to drink more water. They say, is it 8 pints a day? About 1.5-ish. Other brands are available. But yeah, definitely drinking some more water. You feel a lot more refreshed by it. And it's leading me to not snack on chocolate as much, which is easy to do in lockdown. It's too easy to do. Just jump into the cupboards now and again.
Absolutely. I really resonate with that.
Yeah.
So what are you finding to help you through this time despite a tough start to the year?
Relationships, definitely online, just keeping in touch with people, even if it is just quick Zooms. I know we're all dreading it sometimes. The WhatsApp conversations. But as I say, kind of getting out, enjoying nature. It's too easy to stay inside all day, and then all of a sudden it's dark come 3-4 o'clock and you've missed that opportunity. And if you're not, do get outside, do have a little walk. It makes a huge difference. And again, planning to do so. Don't just kind of, I might give it a go. Really just, set yourself that goal, get yourself out, whether it's raining or not, just kind of do that. So definitely exercise. And another one for us, which we've really found helpful, is taking some time just to enjoy the little things. We're calling them micro champion points. So Sophie awarded me a few points the other day, but just finding little things, little things that just make the day seem like more of a positive thing, because again, it's too easy to get stuck in your own four walls. So find time to just champion what you're doing as well.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much for sharing, Joe. And those all sound like great things to be doing during this really difficult time. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. I'm going to bring in our next guest. Joe, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for joining us on this stream.
Okay, thanks, guys.
See you in a bit. Joash is going to join us. Jasmine will be back with us in a moment. There we go. Joash, nice to have you with us.
Thank you. Yeah.
You are currently one of the trainees alongside Jasmine, and this year is slightly different from probably what you'd planned as well. So, let's start off with, given lockdown and things, I've skipped a question. What hopes and plans do you have for 2021?
I think my plans basically still try to continue what I've been planning to do in this year, in my training year, is that to welcome international students, to welcome everyone, to get to know more people as much as I can, whether it is via some online meetings, some phone calls. I know that it's difficult to do like outdoor walk now because of the current lockdown rules, but I hope that in the coming months, when the rules are eased off a bit, that I will still be able to do that, still be able to see some faces, to meet some people, to finally know that how tall the person on the other end of the screen is. Hoping that really we got a chance to do that. Just from what you see now, Phil is probably taller than I looks like, but we'll find out later, maybe.
So, I mean, has much changed for you? I know that you're hoping to be able to keep on as much as possible, but what has anything majorly changed for you? Have you got different hopes or different expectations?
I think for me it's to really it's quite challenging to me, really, because like this lockdown, the new lockdown, I can't remember the second or third, but it really challenged me every time when the regulations change a bit. Sometimes you may feel it is the same, but not really in the details, like how can you meet with people. I think for me, really is still to try to use some creativities to do things as much as we can, as I can, and also what others think they can also join in. So I think that's the challenge for me, really.
It is, huge challenge to try and be creative online, and there's, we've definitely stretched how well we can use Zoom, but we've got to push it a little bit more, just for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean we're all Zoom now.
Yes.
So
So what are you finding after a long day on Zoom, or the disappointment of another cancelled event? What is getting you through this time, despite the challenges?
I think Phil saying one thing I love to do, actually kind of Joe touch on a bit is to go for a walk. Like if you actually go on a search like Guildford outdoor walk places, then you will find lots of beautiful scenes. Like if you're on Stack Hill campus, you could just go on to Cathedral and or even to the Mount. If you want to have a little longer walk, maybe you can go to Chantry's and St. Martha's. And if you've actually been to some of our walks, you probably know these places. And it's also some other, I think, really to try to even just to go out, have a walk. Like don't trap in, like for me, don't trap in this office. Really to go out, have a walk. It's not just about going to do some exercise, be good to your health, but also, I mean, I think for me, mentally, when I look something that's kind of the wider scene, the longer field, it actually helps me to relieve my stress as well. So yeah, I think
That's good. I think there's definitely some studies that have shown all of that is good for you. A little bit of exercise, a little bit of open space, and the fresh air, definitely. Joash, thank you so much for sharing with that. I hope people who are listening have got something from that, and you're now free. You can go.
Hopefully we'll see some of you on the Mount.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, keep an eye out for him. Joash, thank you. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you in a bit. Jasmine, you're back. I'm going to hand over to you to interview our last guest, Rad, who's now joining us on the stream. Over to you.
Hello, Rad. It's so great to see you. Would you mind just sharing a little bit of who you are, what you're studying, things of that sort?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Rad or Radost. I'm from Bulgaria. So I study at the University of Surrey. I study biomedical science. I'm a second year student.
Awesome. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, yeah. It's the midst of exam season, so a bit stressed, but pushing through it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being here as you look forward to this exam season, or as you're in it. So you're here, you're part of the Christian Union, or the CU, at University of Surrey. Would you mind giving us a brief description of the CU?
Yeah, sure. So we're kind of just people who love Jesus in a massive group, and we aim to spread the gospel and give every student on campus an opportunity to hear and respond to the gospel. And yeah, it's just we grow together, we read the Bible together, and we just really want to share the good news about Jesus.
Amazing, I love it. So what is upcoming for the CU?
We have a lot of things actually. So the start of term is coming quite soon. So we have some small groups and morning prayer and Unite, which is kind of our weekly meetings, are back on this week. But in terms of kind of big events, we have Events Week coming up, which would usually look like kind of massive gatherings with free food and a chance to really share the gospel to maybe those people who might have not considered turning up to a Christian event otherwise. But now it sadly has to be online, but we're really, really pushing through to kind of get it out there as soon as possible and make sure people come. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I'm so excited to see it. I mean, I'm new to the Guildford area, so I haven't seen a CU week before. So I'm really excited to see what you guys have in store upcoming. And so, yeah, I mean, as we all know, we're in lockdown right now, and it does impact us. And so how are you doing adapting to the changes? And do you have anything that is helping you through this time?
Lockdown is definitely not good news, but if it means to keep people safe, then yeah, just kind of staying in God's word and staying in his presence has really helped me, especially giving that time kind of every morning, just to spend some time with him and then get on with revision. As a CU also, with obviously everything with lockdown and not being able to meet people in person, our kind of social media presence we're trying to be very, very big on our social media just to reach out to those people. But yeah, and also just as a community, staying together, praying for each other. And we have lots of ways that people can reach out to us through our follow-up forms, which we've had some people kind of message us being like, you know, we need some help, which is amazing. And I love that people have kind of the strength to reach out in such hard times.
Absolutely. It's so important to be there for each other when it's difficult. So thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else that you want to share about your plans going into 2021?
Just to spend more and more time in God's presence. I think that is honestly the only thing that will get me through, even through these exams. Like every student, I haven't left myself enough time to really get through everything. So if I make it through, it's honestly all to God's glory.
Well, thank you so much, Rad.
Amazing. Thanks, Rad, for joining us, and such a good message as well. So thank you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Cool. So we've heard loads of different things. So we've got walks, we've got God, we've got exploring Guildford and listening to podcasts and books. What do you do, Jasmine, with things when things are tough? How are you managing?
Yeah, one of the things that I'm doing right now is writing a lot, whether it's just writing down whatever comes to mind and journaling that way, whether it's maybe making something coherent and synthesizing my thoughts. I find that's a really great way to actually figure out what I'm feeling, what I'm believing right now, how to navigate steps moving forward. It really gets to the core of things for me. And so I think just writing a lot really helping me during this time. It's good practice to build.
It is. Yeah, it's interesting. I kind of on and off do some writing, and I found occasionally blogging just gets all the emotion, just allows you to vent, and actually sometimes it really helps others as well. I found fairly recently as well. So what's changed in your plans? Like Joash, you're doing this trainee year, you had your plans of meeting students. Have you been able to still meet with students in the start of 2021, at least virtually speaking? What's changed for you?
Yeah, I think, towards the end of 2020, a lot of things were moved online with Tier 4 and things of that sort. So things haven't significantly changed as far as like work goes. There are things like the Philip project that we can't do in person, so we're doing our trainings online. But luckily, thanks to Zoom, we can still do those things, and I can still see other students that way. Most of my contact with students is either maybe sometimes as one-on-one walks, although that hasn't happened this year yet due to the lockdown. But being able to just text or call or stay connected on social media, whatever we can to just stay connected has been really great. And so that's what I've been up to. But yeah, things are definitely, it's different because I can't just go, sit in a coffee shop and read a book for work purposes. And so just figuring out, how do I break up the day when all my work is happening at home?
Yeah, I totally feel that. Another day online at my desk. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I'd agree with on that, and I think that the constant changing, as Joash was saying, that things have just constantly been that feeling, and I guess that's left a lot of us feeling like out of control, not quite sure what to expect next. And so I think it's really important. I've been really interested at hearing how people have responded, and I guess I'm a little bit of a mix of all of them. So I love podcasts. There's a bunch of podcasts I listen to, and there's a bit of a broad range. So as a Christian, there's a few that I listen to that help me with understanding the Bible. There's this one called the Bible Project. I highly recommend it if that's your cup of tea, if that's what you're interested in. If you like a bit of history, revisionist history by Malcolm Gladwell. That's a fascinating one as well. Any podcasts? Are you a podcaster, Jasmine?
Yeah, I'm actually listening to one called The Next Right Thing by Emily P. Freeman. She's a Christian woman, but she's talking about what does it mean to just do the next right thing and just taking that next step. And for me, I can be easily overwhelmed with all the things. And so it's been really helpful for me to just, and especially when you can't make plans far in advance, to say, okay, what's this next thing that I can do to move forward and to live a healthy life. And so she actually started it way before the pandemic, but it's come in a lot of handy, come really in hand during this time.
So from that, like what kind of things would has she suggested on that podcast? What kind of stuff?
Yeah, trying to think of something concrete and specific, but I think the biggest thing is when you just sometimes, actually I was listening to it today, and one of the things she recommended is just go out for a walk and see, like, just get some fresh air, and just, even if it's just 15 minutes, and really just recenter yourself, rather than letting things pile up. Just taking that breath can be really helpful to recentering and prioritizing. It's a lot about prioritizing like what you're thinking about, and what you're doing, so you can live a healthy life. That's been good.
That's really cool. And I think there's so much to be said for just taking a break. I don't know if you've had similar, but when I was doing computing, I'd be programming and sat at my computer for hours trying to get this thing to work. And then I'd go out of my room, possibly for a walk, or I'd meet up with friends, and I'd be in the middle of something completely different. I wasn't even thinking of the task that I needed to do for programming, and my brain would be working in the background. And suddenly I'd go, I know how to fix it. And I'd be able to sit down at my desk the next time, and I'd be able to at least get to the next time I was stuck. So that's kind of programming. But I think there's a big thing to be said for just letting your brain do its thing. So my temptation is that I'll listen to too many podcasts. I'll try and read too many books. I'll try and absorb too much information. And then even my break time is just absorbed with downloading information. Too much Facebook, too much Twitter, all of that. I have one of those things. That's my escape sometimes. And so I come out of the day, I'm tired, and I'm a little bit frustrated, especially now when everything seems so heated online. I'll come out angry and just having a walk without anything plugged in, without having a book to read. Just let your brain rest. And I think that's a key part to seeing how this next year will go, is clinging on to those times of rest is really important.
Absolutely.
Rad was saying, there's a way that we rest as Christians, that we find time with the Bible or with God, and we reflect on Him. We call it prayer. Some people try meditation. There are some similarities, I suppose. And highly recommend that you try that if you're feeling totally stressed. And that seems to have worked for a good number of people over 2,000 years. So anything else that you want to add, Jasmine?
Well, first, I really resonated with what you just said. And I definitely find that just focusing on the step in front of you can be really helpful. And really just taking that time to be still and to just let your mind wander, even without filling it with other things, can be so helpful. I don't think I have anything else. Phil, do you have anything else that you would like to add about just how you're navigating this season?
Yeah, no, I don't have too much more to add, to be honest, but I just want to say that I'm rubbish at it. I think it's just, I'm really bad at stopping, and I think a lot of us are. And so I think one of the biggest things that you can do is just be gentle with yourself. Have a bit of grace. You're going to get things wrong. You're going to come out grouchy on certain days, and that is life. But trying to forgive yourself, forgive others. They're in the same boat, and that is generally a step in the right direction for making 2021 a little bit better. Is a good dose of forgiveness.
Actually, really quickly off of that, it reminds me of something someone said, which is about goal setting. And if you miss a day, that's all right. Like, keep pursuing it. Like, it's okay if it's not perfect. And, I think oftentimes we think, oh, it has to be, I'm going to do this for 30 days. Well, if you miss day 7 or 8, that's all right. Just do it the next day. It's all right. And I need to remind myself of that and have that grace for myself. And so I think that might be helpful for you as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. All of that. There's been so much good stuff in very quick succession. I think we've all talked incredibly quickly or something, but I don't think there's any more to be said for that. I hope that those of you listening have found something helpful. Maybe that's our goal for 2021, make it a year of rest. And Jasmine, it's been a pleasure speaking to you.
You as well.
Thank you to Rad, who is still watching, and our guests, Joash and Joe, are also our teammates. It's great to be able to talk, and look out for Let's Talk About in a couple of weeks, where we're going to be talking about one of the courses we do called Life Leadership, which may well help you through this time as well, in how you lead yourself before you lead others. That's all from me. Jasmine, anything else?
Yep, that's all. I hope you all have a great, for those students watching, have a great exam season. I wish you the best as you step forward into that.
Absolutely. Good luck with it all. And if there's anything we can do at Friends International to help, do get in touch. We are here to help you through this time as well. Take care. We'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.